Ke ntwe ke sa tsebeng papa.
Nna ke mme a ntse re sebeletsa tjhelete ka tlung. Jwale mohlang ka kgwedi ne ke mo betse a ga tsamaya Lesotho a ka lo phomola. Ke ka nako e le nne a leng pregnant empa re na go Patie le yena gore re se re ntse ngwana le yena. Mme a nka ba ka go etsa ene le go surprise.
Your surprise is breaking my heart. It's hard. I don't know how to can I say.
So uzomnika isithembu.
Go on papa.
Ngeke umlahle.
No,
okay.
I cannot kick it out.
Okay.
It's my husband.
Yo, guys, isingis. And the tears said andisi. Aibo. Yesterday's episode of Mnakwethu literally got me in stitches. You can't convince me otherwise, Bafethu. This season of Mnakwethu is staged and the acting is getting worse each week. So Umamkolo said, I can't kick it out. I was like, Njani Sisi, you need to kick him out because he cheated on you with your helper when you were hospitalized for 3 solid months. The level of betrayal is catastrophic and cruel, and it doesn't deserve to be forgiven easily. Sanbonani, hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel where I give you updates and reviews of reality TV shows. This is our update and review of Mnakwethu Season 5 Episode 8. So please watch until the end of this video because as usual, I've got a lot to unpack. So before I get into the full details of this video, let's talk about the show. There is something that I picked up, which is Mnakwethu is no longer a documentary about the sacred custom of isitembu. It has degenerated into a clean-up platform for infidelity where men weaponize culture to escape accountability. Traditionally, isitembu requires extensive consultation, respect, emotional maturity, and financial stability. A husband discusses the vision with his wife long before another woman is formally brought in. But on Mnakwethu, the format we are seeing is toxic. Men cheat secretly, they father children outside marriage. Once overwhelmed by the secret, they bring Mseleku and his crew to ambush the blindsided wife. The show has now become a crisis management tool, giving a platform to betrayal disguised as tradition. So about yesterday's episode, we got to see a 50-year-old man called Lisawa from Bloemfontein. Lisawa is married to Mseleku, who is 48 years old, and they have been together for 22 years. Lisawa called Mseleku to help him convince his wife to allow him to take a second wife, and the second wife happens to be Mseleku's helper. The helper, Neo, is 38 years old, and Lisawa fell in love with her when Mseleku fell ill while pregnant and was hospitalized for 3 months. Neo revealed that her relationship with Lisawa started when she brought him his food as usual. After he was done eating, that's when he confessed his love to her, and now they have a child together, which is why she wants to enter into a polygamous marriage without hesitation. Guys, fear men and helpers. So firstly, Neo said she's 38, but looking at her, she doesn't look 38. She even looks older than Umamkulu. Then Ulisawa, I noticed Okuchi was wearing an earring. It literally showed a massive glaring clash between his lifestyle and the culture he is claiming to uphold. And oh, Mam Kolo, I just didn't like her wig. And also, she looked confused and scared. Now, let's talk about the betrayal part. So, Mam Kishi was pregnant and severely ill, fighting for her life and the life of her unborn child in a hospital bed for 3 solid months. Instead of Lisawa standing as a pillar of strength, praying for his family and securing his home, he used Memam Kishi's absence as an opportunity, which literally shows a complete lack of basic empathy, let alone marital love. At 50 years old, Lisawa is an elder. He has lived long enough to understand the gravity of vows, family stability, and consequences, yet he behaved with reckless impulsivity of a teenager. What makes it worse is that this man didn't take responsibility for his mess. Instead, he outsourced the cleanup to Mseleku. He used a national television platform to ambush a woman who has already suffered 3 months of medical trauma, effectively forcing her to relive the nightmare publicly. This episode literally showed the ultimate proof that the show has completely shifted. True polygamy is built on honor, transparency, and building a legacy. You do not start a September out of a mistake made in the dark while your wife was in an ICU bed. Calling this polygamy is an insult to African tradition. This is crisis management for infidelity. Lisawa got the helper pregnant, got caught by life, and is now using the cultural banner of Isitembu to legitimize his misconduct. About the helper's actions, I literally think she proved to be an opportunist who weaponized the access to Mema Mkichi's home. Neo violated the unspoken sisterhood and professional code, while Lisawa carries the primary vows and the ultimate responsibility for his marriage. Neo's behavior is completely indefensible from a human perspective. She did not just fall into an affair, she actively chose to cross a line while her employer, Memam Kichi, was hospitalized and fighting for her life. What she did shows a calculated lack of empathy and a complete absence of a moral compass. Lastly, on the final segment, Memam Kichi agreed to grant Lesawa his Isitembo request. She agreed to take Neo, the helper, as a co-wife. She said if Lesawa feels like he can take care of them, he should go on Yena. She have no choice. She can't kick it out because it's her husband, though he broke her heart. And she also told Neo Okuti since she betrayed her, she shouldn't betray again once she's part of your family. So, my mom Kesha's agreement, I personally think it didn't come from a place of love, cultural pride, or a genuine desire to expand the family. It came from a place of survival and defeat. Then a statement to Neo warning her not to betray again once she joins the family was both powerful and deeply naive. She was trying to establish a boundary and create a sense of family order isitembu protocol. Mara, the harsh reality is ukuthi the helper Neo already proved that she lacks a moral compass. She showed no respect for Yena Mema Mkichi when she was incapacitated in a hospital. So expecting a person who built her foundation on a malicious betrayal to suddenly become a loyal, respectful co-wife is wishful thinking. A snake does not change its nature just because you let it into the living room legally. In conclusion, all I can say is Okuchi, this episode was a tragic display of emotional extortion. It proves that the show is letting men get away with emotional abuse on national television under the banner of culture. The first wife deserves immense empathy for trying to hold your broken heart together with dignity, while the husband and the helper walked away with exactly what they plotted for. So, guys, that is all that I had in this particular video. That was all about Mnakwethu episode 8. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've got your own perspective, your own observation, your own opinion, or your own whatever, you know what we do here. Kindly go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section box down below. Do not hesitate. And also, don't forget to give a thumbs up and also share. To those who haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? There is literally nothing to wait for. So please hit that subscribe button so that you do not miss the updates and commentaries. It's bye for now.